Welcome to Bourbon and Branches and No BS, a podcast from the center of town, coming to you from the center of town in downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia. So glad that you have joined us. And of course, your host for the podcast, Susie Woolham.
Good afternoon.
Hello. I'm excited for this sort of life force conversation we're going to have in this episode. It's all about hydration.
It is. We're calling this one H20ooh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I like that a lot. So we're going to get into that and how important that is coming up in just a moment. I do want to say, actually, I want to ask you a question to start things off. What is your favorite episode we've done so far?
My favorite episode we've done so far? You know what? I really, really enjoyed our episode on tuning forks.
Oh, I did too, yes.
I think that was really good. I think it was nice to be able to kind of bring it to a level where people could understand that it's not just some crazy kind of woo-woo thing, that it really has a basis in science and that it can really help them. And of course, we featured Metallica.
Well, that's true, yes.
And Black and Bourbon on that
yes.
one. So that was a good one.
That was a good one. Sound therapy.
Sound therapy.
The topic for that episode, if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. Really, really good stuff and a really good explanation about what sound therapy is and what it is good for. And definitely, as you're listening to the episodes, give us a rating, a 5-star rating if you like it, and leave us your comments and your questions. Always good to do.
Absolutely. We like to hear from you. It's so nice to hear from everybody. You've had such great things to say. And I think I've said it before. The one thing that strikes me as funny is that people always comment about how they don't really understand how integrative wellness and bourbon go together. And I tell them they just have to figure out by listening. There's no other way. You have to listen, and then it all becomes very clear to them.
It's very true. And if you like the episodes that you listen to, make sure to share those with other people. Because
that. I'm supposed to say that.
That's
share
important.
that.
Share
it is
it.
important. It is important.
Share it with other people. So let's get into hydration and H20ooh my.
Oh my. So hydration, this is such a huge thing. You can't go in any store anymore without seeing a water bottle. Anywhere. Everybody's got one, whether they have glass or whether they have stainless steel. I get so many questions on a daily basis about hydration, or people that come in and they're having X or Y condition. And the first thing I ask them is how much water they're drinking. And invariably, the answer is always, I drink plenty of water. So today we're going to talk about how much is plenty of water? Understanding what hydration is and what dehydration is, and the things that it can cause in your life. There's so many misconceptions that go along with it that we want to kind of open that up and have a fun, certainly we're going to keep it on a fun level. I'm not going to preach at anybody, but to help people kind of understand why it's important to drink your damn water.
Yes, exactly. It's so important. And there are so many different ways, obviously, that we can get the hydration. And if you need to add something else into your regular intake for that, that's important too. And listen, we all struggle with this at times. I know that I do. I know that I have a struggle with this. If I am in anything but a fantastic moment of utopia, I'm struggling with how much water I'm taking in every single day. So that is a struggle for me. I know other people have to make themselves do it sometimes.
And I see you all the time with a water bottle. I don't know that I've ever seen you without one. So there's a prime example is, okay, you carry it, but how much of it do you actually drink?
Right.
And more importantly, how much of it should you be drinking? That's a big key thing that people don't understand. What's the appropriate amount of water that I'm supposed to have on a daily basis? And what can I, and we're going to hit this one hard, what can I and can't I have in my water? Does it have to be just water?
That's a good one, too.
So I know you had a very funny story about water when I told you what we were talking about today that you wanted to share with me. I'm excited to hear it.
Well, that's the funny part, is that as many times as you see me with a water bottle, sometimes it's just show. It's just,
No, don't
look
tell
at
me
look,
that.
I have my water bottle. I've had it with me all day, but I've only made it through half of it.
No.
Yes, and that's the issue. That's the uphill for me, is that, I have it with me, and then I forget to do it. I forget to drink it. I forget to say, hey, this is important. You need to be hitting this. This is important. And I know a lot of people, like I said, struggle with the same sort of thing.
I'm not laughing at you, I swear.
I'm laughing with you.
So
on the inside.
I'm laughing with you on the inside. So let's start with how much you should have. I think that's a really
great place to start, yeah.
A good place to start. You know, and I understand that sort of the norm that people hear is 8-ounce glasses a day. And I will tell you that if, in fact, you weigh 128 pounds, that's a perfect amount of water for you. However, if you don't weigh 128 pounds, the easiest way to determine the amount of water that you need every single day, take your body weight, divide it in half, and that's the amount of ounces that you need. So a 150-pound perfectly healthy male, we're going to pick on them for a little bit, needs a minimum of 75 ounces of water a day, just so that his heart, lung, and brains work effectively. Now, if he does any physical activity at all, we have to up that. And I'm really sorry to tell you this, because I know how much you love your coffee. For every ounce of caffeine that you have, you need 2 ounces of water just to get back to where you were before you drank the caffeine.
Yeah.
So that 20-ounce latte that you have in the morning, that's another 40 ounces that you need to add before you add on the amount that you have to drink every day.
Wow.
It seems like a lot, and it seems daunting to people. And what I see people do is they carry their water bottle, apparently like you do. Yes, this is me judging you.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't eat it.
It's 8 o'clock at night, and they go, oh, I didn't drink my water today. And they will upend that thing and just chug it because, well, I drank my water. What you don't understand is the kidneys don't work that way.
Yeah.
So your kidneys can process about 4 ounces of water every 20 minutes. So what I have people do is get yourself a fun water bottle. This is my fun water bottle. Today we have cucumbers in here. But get yourself a water bottle and mark it off so that you know about where 4 ounces is, and throughout the day, drink down to that point, maybe every hour. There are a ton of them that are out there. You can do it on your own, or get yourself a Dixie cup, a 4-ounce cup, and carry it with you, and about every 20 minutes or so, drink that 4 ounces. This gives your kidneys enough water to drink that they can process it and get it through your body effectively, because the next thing that everybody worries about is, I'm going to be spending all my time in the bathroom, right?
Right.
I have to pee all the time.
Yeah.
Well, here's, I don't know, secret number 2. If you take in the appropriate amount of water for 72 hours, 3 days, at day 2, your body starts to realize that you're going to be getting clean water, and so it will start to release some of the dirty water that's been hanging on to. Up till that point, it doesn't matter how much you drink. If you're not drinking it on a regular basis, it just passes it right through. It doesn't even try to process it. It doesn't try to move waste with it. It doesn't try to do anything with it because it already has water. It's hanging on to it. It's not going to be fooled. So at the 72-hour sort of mark, at about 48 hours, you'll start to notice that you're not going to the bathroom as often, but when you do go, it's going to be darker. It may have an odor as we start to release some of this dirty water that you've been hanging on to. Mm-hmm. At 72 hours, 3 days, it starts to realize it's going to get this water regularly. You won't have the problem going to the bathroom all the time. When you do go, it will be cleansing to the system, and life will go on, and you'll be hydrated.
Nice.
72 hours.
That's all we got to do.
You can do that.
We can do that.
We don't need to do that.
Okay,
you apparently need to do that.
No, it's true. Yeah, no, that's good. Some of the other misconceptions about hydration.
Oh, what can I put in my water? I see all sorts of infusion bottles and people putting fruit and this and that, and that's wonderful if that's really what you want to do. But realize that when you put things in your water, with only a few exceptions, when you put things in your water, your body starts to see it as food. It starts to recognize the enzymes in those food that need to be broken down. And so now it's going to start to produce digestive acids waiting for these foods to show up. So you're kind of being counterproductive to hydrating your body because now you're making it work to digest something that's not showing up. So the exceptions to the rule are lemons, limes in certain situations, watermelon, and cucumbers. Cucumber is a wonderful thing to add to your water, especially this time of year. They're prevalent. They're everywhere. Gardens are jammed with them. Cucumbers are super hydrators. So they give us some good enzymes. They're really good gut cleansers. They give us some good bacteria for the gut. And they're really hydrating to the body. And they give the body a little bit of taste without causing the stomach to look for something to digest.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And plus, you've got to be super careful what you're adding to your water, because if you are doing fruits and things, then all of a sudden you've got sugar added in and things
right.
of that nature. So
And now you're having to digest sugar.
Right.
But there's definitely one thing that we should never, ever, ever, for any reason, put into our water bottles. Can you guess what that might be?
No.
Essential oils.
Oh.
Essential oils
yes.
never go in our water bottle. Essential oils do not blend with water. You cannot drink them in water. Don't drink them in water. Don't put them in your water bottle. Rule number 3. There you go.
There you go.
That's my preaching for the day.
No, that's good.
So you're 72 hours, you're getting the amount of water that you need. You're going to be hydrated, right? You're going to feel good. You're not going to be going to the bathroom all the time. How about some things that you might start to notice in your body? Especially, let's just be honest here. This is Virginia. In the summer, where you walk outside and it's 287% humidity.
Yes.
You're getting plenty of water, right?
Right.
Except at the end of the day, your ankles are still swollen. Your rings won't come off. You do not sleep well. You're cranky, right? And we're going to talk about that summer anger in just a second. Not that you have ever had that moment of summer anger, but we're going to talk about how that relates to dehydration.
I do like that we've given it a name, summer anger.
The summer anger. It actually has a bigger fancy name, but staying hydrated when it's really hot like that outside, extra important. For that, and especially if you're doing any work outside, yard work, even if you're sitting at the beach, I realize that's probably not work, but you're certainly being exposed a lot more. You're in that humidity a lot more. Just a pinch, and I literally mean a pinch of salt in every 12 to 14 ounce bottle of water that you drink will bring those electrolytes back up. It'll bring that electrolyte level in the body back up. You won't have that swelling. You're going to keep the body better hydrated. If you're working outside at all, you definitely have got to do some salt, that Gatorade kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of sports drinks. I do like adding trace minerals to water because I think that does the same thing. It rebalances the body, gives it what it needs. But you definitely have got to add a little bit of something extra because you're just going to sweat the water right out. You've got to do something to give that body the energy, to give the cells the energy.
So as we are talking about hydration, the flip side of that is dehydration. Dehydration shows up for many people in so many different ways, and there's so many ways that it affects the body. Like you might not even know that's what you're experiencing.
Exactly. And that is a huge problem, especially for people that may have a pre-existing health condition, a heart problem or diabetes, or they're in treatment for cancer or another treatment, because you're already not getting the water that you need. Certain medications, they will also put you on a water pill because they don't want you. They know you're not going to drink enough water. The doctors know you're not going to drink enough water, so they give you a water pill to help move the water out. Well, the problem is, no matter how much you drink, you're constantly playing catch up with that medication. So dehydration can show up in really simple ways, like I'm thirsty. By the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Right.
Never, ever rely on your thirst to tell you that you need water. You start to notice that your skin doesn't bounce back as well as it should. Dry skin is a chronic sign of dehydration or a sign of chronic dehydration. Not going to the bathroom as often as you were. Very, very dark urine because it just doesn't have anything to dilute it with. Lethargy, headaches, feeling confused, feeling clumsy. All of these can be signs of dehydration. I'm not laughing at these. I'm laughing because there's another sign of dehydration in the summer that we're going to talk about, and I swear I'm not laughing about it, but I'm laughing because. So a couple years ago, I had a client call me on the phone, and this woman is one of the sweetest, most kind, most genteel Christian women you have ever met in your life. And she called me on the phone in near hysteria saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm losing my mind. I want to kill my husband. I'm just so angry all the time. And I'm laughing now because I was laughing at the time on the phone, and she was beside herself. She said, for like 3 weeks now, I've just been so angry. I don't know what to do. And then I just fall asleep for hours. And so my question to her was, do you by chance have to sometimes deal with low blood pressure? And she said, well, my blood pressure does tend to run a little bit low. And I said, well, what's happening to you right now is a situation, and we call it seasonal hypotension. And this is the fancy term of summer anger. That's what this is. So I tend to have very low blood pressure. And in the summer, there are times where I'm going along and my life is fine, and I'm really good about staying hydrated most of the time. And then all of a sudden, kind of get that limp as a dish rag feel. It's kind of hard to focus, kind of hard to think, and I kind of just have to sit back, and I don't feel like I'm going to fall asleep. I just kind of feel like I'm gapping out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, man, my heart gets to beating, and I am so angry that I could hurt anybody who crossed my path.
Right.
My heart will be banging out of my chest. Well, what's happening here is this is seasonal hypotension. So for people that have low blood pressure, and for people that have normal blood pressure, even depending on the weather, your blood pressure drops. It's hot. So your blood is thinning, right? That's what we want it to do so that we can stay cool. Well, as it does that and everything kind of slows down, there's a moment where your heart realizes, and I'm oversimplifying, but there's a moment where your heart realizes that it's not beating the way that it needs to. And so it kind of amps everything up so that it can function. Well, the way that it does that is it speeds your heart rate up, it makes you get really hot, and it makes you angry, because when you're angry and you're all fired up, it gets that heart rate going, and so your heart gets working more effectively. So when I explained this to her, she said, no. And I said, well, in addition, you're dehydrated. Because this is a prime indicator of dehydration is when people start having this seasonal hypotension. And I told her it was okay and to not kill her husband, but that she really did need to drink more water.
Right.
So she's much better now, and now she knows that beginning in like May, because she does a lot of work outside, she knows that beginning in May she has to make sure that she's really amping up her water intake, because if she doesn't, there could be a situation.
There could be problems. So the water intake will handle this seasonal hypotension?
The water intake will do a lot to handle the seasonal hypotension, and I think that everybody who is having this problem needs to talk to their primary physician about this. It's definitely something that they know about. It's not like it's a secret. It's not like I'm revealing some, deep, dark secret to anybody. It's just something that is not usually addressed for a lot of reasons, but typically because, let's give you some medication and it'll stop that from happening. I've seen a lot of people that have started taking anti-anxiety medication because that's what they thought was happening. They thought they were having panic attacks. And I was like, actually, you're just dehydrated. And the worst part about it is a lot of anti-anxiety medication causes dehydration. Mm-hmm. So you're just causing this vicious circle to start. And these people will stay in this condition getting worse and worse and worse when all they really need is just to drink some water.
Right. Wow.
So it's a simple thing. I have fired clients before who wouldn't drink their water. They've come to me for a consultation, and it's the truth. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but
you're fired.
Truthfully, if someone comes to me for a consultation and they tell me that they have a situation in their life, a health condition in their life, and I try to do muscle testing or something on them and I realize they're dehydrated, well, nothing that I can do for them is going to work until I get them hydrated. So I do the same thing. For 72 hours, I need you to drink this amount of water. Come back. There'll be no charge when you come back. Just come back and let's recheck you. And they'll come back after 72 hours and they're still dehydrated. And I'm like, how did that go? And I've had them look at me and say, I really don't like water.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink it. But I drank tea. Okay, well, tea's not water. Tea's food. Tea is what you give to somebody who is sick,
Right.
Tea is a food. Tea is not water.
Right.
Water is water. And, I have no problem looking at them and saying, I'm just not sure that I'm the therapist for you. And I've had them say, well, aren't you going to give me something? Aren't you going to recommend a product or a supplement? No, because you can't do something that I gave you for free. Drink water.
We need to start there.
So,
Yeah.
I have been known to. It's kind of a joke around here that
But it is truly a foundation.
it's the
For so
absolute
many-
foundation.
yeah.
Heart, lung, brains, kidney, muscle function. Muscle aches, cramps in the summer are caused by dehydration. Everything that you do, and not just for you, but for your pets. I mean, water should be something that you have with you at all times. All of us, or I would be willing to say 99.9% of us, have water or access to water at some point throughout your day. And frankly, as much as I dislike city tap water, I don't care if you drink tap water as long as you're getting water.
Right.
It's just imperative for every function and every system in the body to stay hydrated. And, there are ways that you can make it fun. One of the things that I've always enjoyed doing is I like liquid chlorophyll. It's a green kind of liquid, so it's really dark green. Or black cherry juice is another one that's really great. So start your water bottle in the morning, especially if you're doing a clear one. Make it really dark, either with your chlorophyll or your black cherry juice, and fill it up with your water. Well, every time you get it halfway full, every time you've drunk it down halfway, refill it with water. So by the end of the day, that water should be almost clear.
Right.
So it's a challenge to you to get it to that clear point. Do things like that to help yourself get there. Again, buy a fun water bottle if you need to. Make a fun water bottle if you need to. Just make sure that you're not waiting till 8 o'clock at night and getting ready to go to bed and drinking your water.
And then trying to chug it, because that's just not
You're
going
going to
to,
be
your
up all
body's
night.
going to say
Right.
no to that.
You're going to be up all night. It's not going to work. Your body needs to sleep, and now you've tried to give it something to help it work effectively, and it can't work and sleep.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
It does
That
make
makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
And that's the other thing, is that it needs to just be water. I can't stress that enough. Again, there are a couple little things you can put in there. I realize it's boring. I don't want to see you putting them fancy drops from the grocery store in your water because they have sweetener in them.
Yeah.
Now it's a food.
Yeah.
Now you're giving your body something to work with, and you're causing your kidneys a whole lot of uncomfortableness than they need. Water. It's just water. Learn to like water. I don't care if it's cold water or hot water. It really doesn't matter. I know some people don't like cold water with ice in it. Some people only like cold water with ice in it. It really doesn't matter. You just have to find a way and stick to it. It normally takes 21 days to affect a change in the body. 3 days drinking enough water makes a huge change in the body. So by the time you get to 21 days, maybe you won't be reaching for the soft drink as much. Maybe you won't be reaching for the tea as much. And then when you do have a tea, you can really enjoy it. It's not just something that you're guzzling to try to get some hydration in your system.
It's just something you are having for taste.
Right.
On the side. It's a little treat.
It is a little
because you've already
treat.
laid the foundation.
Right.
So we're ready to transition to having a drink.
We are ready, and today, because we're talking about water, and it's so important, one of my favorite hydrators for the summer, if you do need something different and you are doing work outside and you're looking for something that will provide you with the minerals that you need, is Haymaker's water, or Switchel. Years and years ago, we always made our own, and I know now that some of the natural food stores have started picking it up. There are companies that are actually making a Switchel, which is lovely, but trust me, you can make this at home in your kitchen. I promise you, I'm going to go to 100% of you. Have these ingredients in your kitchen. You can make this. And if you need something that just needs a little boost, this is it. Today, we're giving it a little extra boost.
A little extra treat.
So Haymaker's water was originally designed. It's a New England tradition, and it's for people that would be working in the fields. And it's a simple combination of water, apple cider vinegar, sweetener of choice, which would be either molasses, which is what we're having today, molasses, honey, or maple syrup, depending on which you prefer, and then some freshly sliced ginger. Make it up by the gallon, sip it throughout the day. Make it at your own taste. I'm not even going to give you measurements. Make it at your taste. It should have kind of a sweet, tangy taste to it. If you're doing any work outside, I promise you, this will change your life. This will change your day. And today, I'm so going to change your day.
Ooh.
Because what I've done is I've made a Haymaker's punch.
Nice.
So
This is an adult haymaker.
this is an adult haymaker.
This is an after-hours haymaker.
It is. So here
like it.
we have the haymaker that I made up this morning with fresh organic ginger and organic apple cider vinegar. And I like molasses. That's what we're having it with. And our bourbon of today. Because I thought, we need to have a little bit of fun. We
Yes.
need to get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about hydration. And I just told people they need to drink 100 ounces of water. And they probably think I'm crazy.
7 million ounces of water a day.
7 million
Yes.
ounces.
You can do it.
You can do it. Especially if you combine it with today's bourbon, which is Rebel Yell 100.
Ooh.
This is a brand new bourbon. It's just out this year from the Rebel Yell company. I know y'all know Rebel Yell. Don't lie. So this is a Rebel Yell 100. This is a 100 proof bourbon. So it's got a little kick to it. It's got a little happiness in it.
Yeah.
It is a little warmer than maybe some of the other bourbons that we've talked about. A little more fiery, but it's summer and we're hydrating. So we're adding this to our haymaker. And for the first time, I get to say to you, put that in your glass.
Put that in your glass. For sure.
So here's to the Rebel Yell people of Rebel Yell 100. Pick it up. It truly is affordable enough. It's fun. It's got a nice peppery finish. Definitely hot. Makes a great haymaker. And here's to you.
Here's to you. It's spicy.
It's spicy.